Hello, Anne. Hello, John. Hello, Raf. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully you can hear me now, though. I had to add myself to the stage, and then I had to unmute my mic. So let me know if you can hear me now. You can hear me, Raf. Thank you very much. And you can hear me perfect. Okay. So this probably will be a shorter live. It probably won't be for 2 hours, more than likely, because I usually don't do, and I'm gonna put the volume of the music down a little bit. I usually don't do these, make these things, create these slides until Saturday, Sunday, to be honest. And just with what's been going on recently with Pandora, I just didn't have really the time or the desire to do too much with this. So this will probably be a shorter live, more than likely. It might get to 2 hours if the conversation warrants it, but if not, then it might be an hour. It might be 40 minutes. It might be 30 minutes. It's very hard to say. I don't want to do this for 2 hours just because it's always been 2 hours and that's what it needs to be, kind of thing. I'm not that kind of person that's going to like milk time just to milk time on something like this, because this is more important. So just a heads up on that. Excuse me, I just wanted to say that in the beginning. So hopefully everybody is doing okay, and hopefully everybody's doing okay so far this Sunday. Hopefully everybody's kitties are doing okay also. Hello, Icon. Thanks for popping in, friend. Yes, I will. And I'm gonna give maybe about 5 more minutes or so for some more people if they're gonna pop in, and I just kind of wait for a few more if a few more are gonna come in. But I will be after that though, Anne. I will address the health situation with Pandora and go from there. John, yes, I appreciate that. Life is absolutely more important. Especially it's more important than just kind of for the most part, silly little platform called YouTube in the end. When it comes down to it, this is just a platform. This should be just a small percentage of everybody's lives. Nothing too major, really. Ralph, the background may be slightly louder. Okay. All right, I appreciate that, Raf, for letting me know. I'm going to lower it then even more. And I'm going to turn the background music off in a minute anyways, but I appreciate you letting me know, Raf. Hopefully that's better. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Ann, and thank you, Raf, for letting me know. I appreciate that. But like I was saying, hopefully everybody's doing well Sunday, this particular Sunday. Hopefully everybody's getting ready for their upcoming week, work week, and I think the weather is pretty good. At least out for me it is. John, being in Virginia, your weather is probably pretty close to mine. Right now we have just pretty much blue skies. There's a few clouds out, but it's pretty good weather overall. So, and we finally have some patches of green popping up. So some of our grass is finally coming up a little bit more. John, a kittie's life means more than any YouTube platform because of their family. I agree with that, John. So that's going to be a little bit of the changes that I'm going to talk about. That's a part of this. This is also some channel changes and just some overall YouTube changes that will be coming up because of the kitties and because of some life stuff too that's also starting to change. Now, I will say briefly before I get into Pandora, because I'm going to wait a few more minutes just to see if anybody else is going to come in here. I'm going to give them at least about 10 minutes or so, if they're going to pop in or not. I think some of you knew that I had to have actually an ultrasound on my thyroid myself here recently. and I had the results came back. As far as I know, it looked like everything was normal. I think they still got to wait like an official report from the doctor, but from what I read off of it, from what they told me, from like how it read, because these reports can be a little kind of weird to read or kind of be a little hard to understand sometimes. It seemed like everything was good with my thyroid itself. So it would have been rather ironic, already having Rosemary having thyroid issues, who's sleeping right now in her daybed, and then having Pandora, who has thyroid issues. And then if I was getting thyroid issues also, that would be like, geez, have I been spending too much time with Rosemary? Potentially Pandora. They've given me their thyroidism. So. Let's see what John is saying about his weather. It's in the upper 60s today, and will be 70s all week. Everything is growing and blooming. Yeah, and the pollen, at least for where we're at, the pollen is still here a little bit, but it's nowhere near as much as can't talk. Sorry. It's nowhere near as what it was like a few weeks ago. It has definitely calmed down quite a bit pollen-wise. If you all want to say hello to my wife, I know sometimes she pops into these lives, sometimes she doesn't, but that would be her, Catherine, or Kat, as she goes by KAT. So she's technically the 10th cat of the bunch. I feel like I've been scratched enough in my life. I've probably been scratched hundreds of times easily, and I probably have some cat blood inside of me. So it is a potential secretly wanting to be a cat. I would agree. I'm gonna kind of just move this a little bit. I want to get that light out of your guys' eyes. Okay, and I know that eventually I'll probably kind of have better lighting, because I was asking some people like what I could do to kind of improve these lives. John was saying hop around and jump around like a lunatic. I might eventually get there, but probably not today, John. Hello, Tranquil. And then Alicia, she was saying better lighting, or kind of lighting improved. So I probably think I'll eventually get one of those kind of lights, those like one ring lights that you can put in front of you, that kind of does a better like shot of your face. I might eventually get to that point. Let's see. You're too young for health issues. I hope you don't have anything significant. Well, hi NPP. Be safe driving, NPP. Hopefully I don't say anything crazy, NPP, that makes you drive off of a cliff or into a wall or into another car or something. I will try to remain calm if you're just listening into this. Let me see. John, if you hop and jump around, I'll join you in a live stream. Well, maybe eventually we'll get to that, John. But I thought you said you would hop on here anyways, because yes, I will start talking about Pandora here in a second, because I passed the 10-minute mark, and that's the mark I wanted to get to just have a few extra people pop in. I would eventually love for other channels, you, John, or Ann, you, or Raph, or Tranquil, maybe, other cat channels, to join this live and just to kind of talk about their cat experience. Maybe why they created their cat channel, and why, kind of what their experience is in their life with kitties. Because we all have different journeys in life, and we all have different paths, and just kind of how and where cats have kind of created maybe saved our lives potentially, or made life a lot better, even though we have heartache sometimes and some pain that I'll be talking about with Pandora here in a moment. But just that experience that it's always unique to every individual, and I think can help others who might be struggling in their journey also. John, Come on. Okay. Yeah. Probably in the future, John. I will definitely send some invites out there. And then Raf saying that you'll come, but just let me know on the day. Okay. I appreciate that, Raf. Okay. I think I'm going to get started. So, as you can see up on the screen, not you, NPP. Don't look at the screen because you're driving, but I have right now, obviously, Pandora needs your prayers and support. And then I put a little something underneath that. The peak of love is worth walking through the valley of pain and heartache. So what is going on with Pandora? As I think most of you know, Pandora, we'll see. Let me just see what you're saying here real quickly. And I'm going to be very honest with you. The mouth is full of rotten teeth. There's the remaining 2x2. So I don't. Well, and you don't have to have the camera on if you don't want to. That's the other thing also. And you can always just have audio. You can just be talking. You don't have to have a visual. You can have your camera off. I don't, so just letting you know. I mean, if you ever wanted to do that, you don't have to have your camera on. It's totally up to you, of course. But let me take that off. So anyways, so as most of you I think know with Pandora, recently being maybe like 3 to 6 months ago or so, she was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, and we started her on her medication. And for the first maybe 2 to 3 months or so, and if you're still in here, Kat, you can always just like correct me. I know you love correcting me anyways. I mean, if you're honest, I think people like to love correcting others. But if I'm saying something wrong, then let me know in the chat. But anyways, about 3 months ago, she was starting to take a bit of a turn for the worse. Not turn for the worse, but she was losing weight. She was down to like 7.5 pounds or so. So we started to give her more food. We started to give her more dry food, and we started to give her more wet food. And the reason being is, and let me make my face a little bigger here. The reason being is when we have hyperthyroidism, we have that clock again, right? Let me use this finger. We have that clock that's just going really, really fast, right? So we have that metabolism that's just like going really, really fast. So a cattle eats, but because their metabolism is going so quickly, they wind up burning through their food, their energy, their nutrients so fast, then they start taking up fat deposits that's in their body, and that's how they lose weight, right? So what we started to do with Pandora was feed her wet and dry food as much as we can get in. Wet for the protein, which is crucial, and dry for the carbs, which is just that extra fat, right? Things were going okay for about a week or two with that. We got her back up to about 8 pounds or so. She went to then a specialist, and the specialist did a certain test for her. I'm gonna make myself smaller again. They did a special test for her called a GI panel. What the GI panel does, it checks for certain gut issues like irritable bowel disease, IBD, pancreatitis. There are some markers that will set for like kidney issues, stuff like that. We got the results back from that a few weeks ago. Everything was pretty clean. So the vet from there recommended just to get her back in and do another like full panel test, like the whole shebang, like all the blood work, everything that can be done, kidney work, urine test, everything. So this was about a week ago roughly now, and when we got the results back from that test, we were starting to show some more worrisome signs, such as her red blood cell count was it was either a little low or a little high. I want to say it was a little low because she's not producing now as much red blood cells as a normal cat should be, which the doc think that could maybe have a sign of anemia, which could be a sign of kidney disease / kidney failure. A couple other things, and her kidney values were starting to be a little wonky also, and this was the first time it showed up. So what our vet recommended us to do is in about a week or to 2 weeks later was to retest again. So as of this upcoming Wednesday, actually, it had been 1 week. So we think what we're going to do is probably this upcoming week, we are going to schedule her to do another blood test and kind of see if her values are improving or if they're decreasing or if they're kind of getting out of whack even more. Because if they're getting out of whack even more, especially like the kidney ones and the red blood cell ones, it's probably a clear sign that what we're having, unfortunately, is kidney disease. Now, what's bad about hyperthyroidism is a lot of the times it kind of masks kidney disease. So you're treating the hyperthyroidism at first, but that kidney disease is kind of laying underneath it also. And it's not until the kidneys are at a certain point where they're damaged enough where they're going to start showing up for blood work. So that's what we think might be going on. Now, over this particular weekend, we actually had to isolate Pandora Friday night and Saturday night because we hadn't seen her poop in a while. So we were worried if she was being constipated. Thankfully, she did poop this morning or overnight when she was isolated. Now, another thing she has been doing also is she's been a little bit more stubborn, a little bit more finicky with eating. And this is a cat who used to eat anything. I mean, no matter what you put down, she would eat. And she's just getting a little bit more finicky, which is another kind of classic sign of kidney disease, where they're a little bit more picky on what they're going to eat. So we have that going on. She has thrown up a few times also during the weekend, some food and then just some bile. Yellow bile. I remember, Raph, you were asking me a while ago about. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say that because that's kind of like a private thing. So never mind. Sorry, Raph. What I was gonna say though is bile, like yellow bile, especially, can be a sign of either just an empty stomach, or can also be a sign of kidney disease too. So what, let me see what you're saying here, Anne, real quickly. Yes, their instincts are great to know what they should. Yeah, I agree with you, Anne. And the other thing, okay, Raph. So a few weeks ago, and this is what I kind of want this channel to turn into, and it slowly is, but it takes a lot of time. Raph asked me on another live about a situation that was going on with Alice. And Raph, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes my memory is a little poor. But she was throwing up, and for like a day or so, like 5 or 6 times, and he just wanted some advice. So I called him and we spoke for, I don't know, a half hour maybe or so, and just gave him what my opinion was, what my thoughts were. And thankfully, I thought it was just something that was just passing. Maybe she ate something that just didn't agree with her tummy, and just slowly kind of introduce food and stuff like that, and which they did, Raph and his wife Tiffany, and she's better now as far as I know. So so eventually, like, that's what I want this channel to become, is a lot more education based stuff like that, because there's a ton of like funny cat videos and funny cat channels out there. So just to kind of stand out more, and to more than anything, to help cat parents and to help cats, is just becoming more educational based. Hello, Shane Tyerman. Thank you for popping in there. I hope you're doing well today. But anyways, so this is something that I would not necessarily recommend doing, so I want to be on camera here more. We also did some more research into well, you can't see it, so I'm just going to say it. It's a thyroid medication that both Pandora and Rosemary are currently on. And we looked into some of the side effects of this Filamazole medicine that's supposed to help control the thyroid, but it has some pretty nasty side effects where it can cause anemia. It can cause kind of a lack of appetite. So what we have done since Saturday morning, she didn't get any Saturday night, and she hasn't got any today. We've pulled her off of her thyroid medication because her thyroid level was a little elevated when we got her blood results back, but it wasn't like crazy elevated. The normal thyroid range is between 1 and 5, and hers was like 5.3, so it was just barely over like what's considered the abnormal range, or the hyperthyroid, or the hyperthyroidic range. So we've pulled that from her just to kind of see if we notice a difference. And I tell you what, so far she seems a little bit more energetic, and she seems like she might actually do better not having as much as that medicine on. Like I'm gonna say though, I would not necessarily, if you don't have the experience, I wouldn't just pull a cat's medicine away before consulting with a veterinarian. Now, I have been doing this. I've been working with cats, and I've been living with cats for 30 some odd years. So if you do this stuff long enough, you kind of gain kind of like a sense of what to do sometimes. You just develop an instinct, you develop intuition on what's like necessary and what's needed sometimes. So, always consult a veterinarian though. But eventually, kind of, you develop I can't really explain it. Let me see. I think John is mentioning something like this. Let me see what John is saying on here. So it's not easy to know what's serious and what's just a passing issue. Even medical experts can't know your personal issues your personal issues or your cat's issues. Statistics can't answer personal things. Know your kitty. Yeah, John. That's kind of where I'm going at with this is, sometimes just as the cat parent, you kind of know what's going on, and sometimes you have to kind of go against medical advice or against veterinarian advice. It's not the easiest thing to do, but sometimes it's just, you got to try it, because it's like, what do you have to lose? Now, currently, right now with Pandora, she is back to about 7.6 pounds or so. So her weight is still decreasing. Now, hopefully, we can kind of figure out what's going on and figure out, are we looking at more kidney disease on top of hyperthyroidism? Because if we are, then we have to kind of reassess, and we have to change what she's eating into more kidney food that's going to help protect what's ever left of the kidneys. Because unfortunately, with humans, once you start having kidney disease and or kidney failure, your kidneys, like, they don't come back. Once they're shot, or once like part of it is compromised, it doesn't reverse, it doesn't come back, it just doesn't. So you have to do the best, that you can with what you have left. Let me just quickly see what Chad is saying here. You really do, but I always go to the vet just to make sure that I'm not getting it wrong. Tranquil, I have received bad advice from veterinarian more than once. John, and yet we need medical advice. It's not easy. And it's true, I had to after losing too many with the vet's treatment. So you all kind of know what I'm saying here. Icon, great cat dad. You have such wisdom and intelligence and empathy. They're still taking care of. Well, thank you, Icon. I do the best I can with what with what we got. Hi, Sydney Cat. Thanks for popping in here, friend. So it could get to a point, and this is the hard thing. This is where I kind of wrote this second part of this, that the peak of love is worth walking through that valley of pain and heartache. So I know that hold on. I know that our time with Pandora could be coming to an end. I know that we could have days or weeks or months. Hold on, sorry. I know that we could not have much time left with her. Yeah. Sorry. So I know that that's a potential, but I know though that we will do everything that we can to do, to give her the best quality of life, uh, with whatever time that might be. Now, we are still waiting on uh, a referral to NC State. Now, NC State is kind of one of the top diagnostic veterinarian schools in the state. So, we will do what we can for that. I'm sorry. So I know we'll do what we can for her. Hopefully we still have some time left. And whatever time that is, whatever time remains, it'll be good. Saying all that, of course, we want that time to be extended as long as possible. And of course, I will keep everybody up to date on community posts and stuff like that, for sure. So that's where we are with Pandora. Thankfully, everybody else is doing, even Rosemary, who's had some up and down poop, she's doing okay. And I appreciate the kind comments that I'm seeing here. I do appreciate that, because it shows you care, and that's something that I do appreciate immensely, for sure. So that's what's going on with Pandora. We will try to do the best that we can. She might need to, something we were looking at was B12 shots. I don't know if anybody's really familiar with B12 shots or not, but it's not uncommon for kitties, once they do, if they become anemic or once they have kidney disease, to get B12 shots. It kind of works. What it does, it kind of helps replenish the bone marrow because your bone marrow starts, you start losing it, and you start losing your red blood cells, or not being able to replenish them properly. So you start doing that. So B12 shots is a potential. You might even look into like some gabapentin, because we don't know. The thing that's hard about cats, right, is you don't know if they're in pain or not, because they hide it so well. So gabapentin is also something that could be on the table. But we will definitely keep everybody informed with Pandora, Rosemary, and the other 7. So anyways, that's what's going on with Pancakes, as we call her. Pandora, the White Cat of Doom. She's got a few nicknames. I'm sure y'all know about nicknames and kitties. You probably all got a bunch of nicknames for your cats. So I did have a little bit more to talk about today. Like I said, this was just going to be... let me see what Anna's saying about shots. I think I know that those darn painful shots. Had them so many times. And so you're yourself, Anne. Okay. I know they have to do it for a long time. Also, they have to do it for like. Hi, Bert. Make the most of your time that you have. I didn't want to comment just yet. All right, I appreciate that, Bert. Thank you. I know with B12 shots that it's not like a one-time shot, because our vet was talking to us about it. It's about a 6-week regime. Regime, is that the right word? I think that's the right word. Routine, whatever, resume. I can't think of the right word right now, but I think you know what I'm saying. It's for 6 straight weeks, and then like 6 weeks later, 3 weeks later, you do like another blood test again. So it's a lot of testing going on with them. So anyways, enough of that for now. Let me get on to the next slide here. Let me hide myself. Oh, and this isn't, so like I was saying, I only have a few slides here today, not a ton. There were a few cat topics, just two cat topics for today. Tranquil wanted to kind of talk about traveling because, as some of you know, I don't know if all of you know this or not, but I think some of you know, I lived in, and let me see what Anna's saying. I don't want to skip over the chat here as I'm talking. Says exactly, and they love to give it at the exact same spot for those 12 via 12 shots. Some of you know, I currently live in North Carolina, and we moved from Arizona to North Carolina back in 2008. At the time, we only had 3 cats. Life was easy back then. Life was more simple. We had Kitty, who passed on. We had Kitten, who passed on, and we had Zelda, who's still hanging with us at 19 years old. So, traveling with cats, either, I mean, long or short distances, it can be tricky. I don't know how many have you, who is in the chat, who has like traveled like a short or a long distance, who's had to move with cats and or dogs, and just talk about your experience briefly in the chat, and I'll kind of talk about, you know, what I feel like is kind of the best practices when traveling with pets, cats or dogs, short or long distance. Now, if it's a short distance, then honestly, and what I mean by a short distance, let's say it's like an hour, unless you have like a cat that's really crazy, and what I mean by, I don't mean crazy, what I mean is it's really gets really worked up in the cage, then you probably would think about asking your vet to prescribe some gabapentin. So gabapentin, it does a couple of neat things. It is like a pain thing. It's also something for like skin infections and skin issues, but it's a sedative too. So if you're traveling, you know, maybe an hour, a couple hours, gabapentin is something that is beneficial. Let me see what Anna's saying here. You had to travel bringing 21 cats there, and you had to travel overseas, right, Anne? So is that flying? Because that would be insane. I couldn't even think about what flying would be if you had to fly with cats. That would be like crazy to me. Sydney cat, I had a Russian blue named Princess that stayed just on the front seat and looked out the window. No problem. I would, but with Sydney cat though, you never attempt it. Tranquil, I moved with my cats. It was only an hour and a half drive. There was a lot of panic and chaos. So Tranquil, yeah, did they get anything beforehand? Did they get like I was talking about, did they get any kind of gabapentin or anything? Because usually gabapentin is a pretty good sedative for them. But let me kind of talk about my experience with traveling. So like I was saying, at the time we had 3 cats, and we mapped out where we were going to stop about every 10 hours or so. Yeah, I think every 10 hours, something like that. So we stopped first in El Paso, Texas. Everything was going fine. But what happened though, one of the cats, when we went from Phoenix, Arizona to El Paso, Texas, which is maybe close to a 10-hour drive or so, maybe it's 8 hours, Zelda got just really, she didn't handle it well at all. So what was happening with Zelda, she started, and this is a little graphic, but it's real. She started bleeding from her rectum, from her behind, blood. So we took her to an emergency vet that was there, thankfully, right in town, pretty much like right where the hotel, very close to where we were staying for that night. And hello, Specs Appeal. Hope you're doing well. So like I said, she was bleeding from the behind, and we took her to the vet. And the vet said, yeah, she's probably just nervous. She's probably just anxious. So what the vet wanted, and we didn't know about gabapentin at the time, so we didn't give any at all. Specs, let me give you a wrench here. Let me get on on here. So, like I was saying, the vet gave her some antibiotics, and the vet also gave her, I want to say maybe it was gabapentin. I'm honestly not sure. It's been such a long time. But once she got that medicine in her, she did a lot better, and she didn't have like any issues after that at all. So that's cool. Hold on, Specs. Let me. Okay, Specs. You should be a standard moderator now, so you can check out other channels if you want to. But anyway, so after that, it was definitely a long distance. You know, the trip from Phoenix to the Raleigh area was about 2,000 miles. It took us about 4 days or so. And beyond Zelda getting, you know, bleeding from her behind that first day, first night, it went actually pretty smoothly. Now, would I? Since then, we have moved quite a bit, actually, but we had small moves. Like, I think the longest move we've had since we've moved to North Carolina was about an hour and a half, and we didn't really do much of anything. We might have gave like one of the cats like one gabapentin, like a little bit, just to kind of help calm them down, sedate them, so they could basically just sleep the whole time. But we've been pretty fortunate when it comes to moving. And kitties, we haven't really had much of an issue at all, actually. So, but anyways, that's pretty much it with moving. Another thing, just another quick topic that I wanted to discuss. I was talking, or Renee was on my live, I think it was yesterday, and she was talking about this product called Uproot Clean. Obviously not a sponsor, but she said it's really, really, really good. She said that she, especially with like cat posts. Now, I know those who have cats, and even maybe you, Bert, obviously with your doggies, if they shed enough, that you have a lot of dog or cat hair a lot of places, right? So she was saying that this is really like a really good product. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know this at all. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, let me get to this. I'm sorry, Tranquil. So taking them into motels. So back in the day, back in 2008, La Quinta Inn. I don't even know if La Quinta Inn still exists or not. They might not. Hello, Joel. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in, friend. La Quinta Inn accepts pets, accepts cats, and accepts dogs. Now, there's a limit though. Back in that day, you could only have 2 per room, so we had to wind up getting 2 rooms, one for, you know, like me and my wife, and 2 cats, and then we had my mom also tag along, and we had cats parents, I think, yeah, both her mom and dad also tag along, so we had to get 2 rooms anyways. So we just split the rooms, had connecting rooms, and so bringing them into motels was like no issue at all. Tranquil. For us, just find like a pet-friendly, cat-friendly, dog-friendly motel, and you should be set. Now, of course, you're going to pay a little bit more. You're going to pay like the pet fee, if you will. Maybe it's gone up, but I want to say it was like maybe an extra $20 or something. Well, yes, I mean, obviously, Tranquil, you can lie. But that's dangerous, because you never know when they might do a check, right? So, and then you're going to be in some probably big trouble and have to pay a fine. So I wouldn't recommend lying. In general, I wouldn't recommend lying. It's usually not a good thing. But yeah, I mean, you can always lie, but just that's always tricky if you do that. So I would say, just find hotels that are good for that allow pets, and I think you'd be good to go. Gabapentin would probably be a necessity, especially if it's a long trip. So yeah, but anyways, oh yeah, so John, according to our like HOA rules, and when you sign a contract to most subdivisions, you're only allowed 3. like 3 cats or 3 dogs. So we're way over that limit. You know, we have our 9, so we're way over. But I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't matter as long as you own your home. But I do know also that can be taken advantage of, and you could have you could be like a cat hoarder or a dog hoarder, and that's a whole different story. So. But anyways, so real quickly, like I was saying, the other thing just I said I'd mentioned with Renee was this uproot clean. I looked at it. It seemed like a pretty good thing. We might eventually get it. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a normal vacuum cleaner does well enough for it. So just maybe something y'all want to write down, maybe take a look at. I don't know. It's up to you, obviously. Uproot clean. So that's really it for topics, like I said, for today. The next thing was just kind of like questions. If y'all have any questions you want to talk about, or if you have any questions for me, questions, I don't know, just questions. So yeah. Let me see, what is Specs appeal? I've seen a lot of cats wandering around on Turkish videos. Yeah, Specs, I've noticed that too. I do have a few channels that are out in Turkey that I follow, and there are definitely, yes, I have noticed a ton of street cats and dogs actually, and I think Anne has talked about that before, Specs, because Anne, I don't know if you know Anne or not, but Anne lives in Turkey. So, and you might be talking about that anyways. I'm trying to look at chat, but I'm also trying to look at other things too. But anyways, so any questions that anybody has? Any cat questions? Are there any issues with anybody's cats or dogs? Bert, I know you got the doggies. I mean, I can try to answer a question for you if you have any questions. Just let me know. I'll let you kind of think of anything. If not, then I kind of have one other thing, and then, like I said, this was going to be a shorter live altogether, more than likely. And that is a ton of cats. 5 million strays, yes, and that is. I hope a lot of those strays have a good, maybe, I don't know, eventually can find a home or can at least get neutered or spayed, so they're not producing more unwanted or more, more cats that I'm not going to be taken care of properly. Jennifer, hello. You're good, Jennifer. It's all good. This was a bit of a tough live, Jennifer. I was just earlier in the live. If you want to, recatch it, feel free to. You don't have to. Obviously, it's completely up to you, of course. But I was just giving an update, Jennifer, on Pandora, just to kind of see how, or kind of give an update on Pandora, and then was just talking about traveling with cats. So, but I'm glad that you're here now. Let's see. So Sydney cats can have babies at 3. So So Sydney, it's about 4 months old, roughly, where a female cat can technically, they have everything that's needed to have kittens, which is crazy when you think about it. Just 4 months old, right? And if they're not spayed or neutered, the other crazy thing is they can, through a cat's suit, like just one adult. Let me make myself a little bit bigger for this. One female, if they're not spayed, and let's say they live to be, like, say 15, right? Let's just say 15. If they're having babies constantly throughout their lifetime, they can have up to, I think it was like 200 or 300 kittens themselves. And if then those kittens are not spayed either, then just think about the numbers. That one female cat can produce 200 kittens in their lifetime. and it could even be higher than that, actually. And then let's say some of those go on to produce more kittens, then they're like the grandmother of potentially hundreds of kittens. Just think about it. That's why spaying and neutering is so important. Spaying and neutering. Um, spay and neuter your kitties if you can. I mean, really, and it's better for their health also, anyways. Let me see what you're saying, Anne. There's a lot of people trying their best to help as many cats as they can, but the numbers are overwhelming. And that's part of why I want to continue with this educational channel, because what I feel the problem is there's not enough education out there for people. I hope at least there's not enough education out there for people. I hope it's not where people just don't care. I don't believe that that's the case. I think that they just don't know any better, because the YouTube is full of a lot of cute cat videos, right? And nothing against that. They're funny, of course, but there's not a ton of like educational type of videos that are out there. Hello, Martiza Yarn and Crafts. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. I sometimes I'm not good at pronouncing names, so I am sorry. I'll apologize in advance. But besides like Jackson Galaxy and maybe there might be somebody else, but Jackson Galaxy is the biggest one I know that tries to educate the public, and he has the reach to do it. There's really not much else out there. Anne is saying, since 2008, I have rescued 42 cats and had them all spayed myself. So but there were groups of foreigners doing this daily. Okay. So, any other questions that anybody might have? Is anybody's cats like doing anything that they're wondering about, or maybe they need some advice through myself, or maybe somebody else that's in the chat? And that's the good thing. That's why I want to try to have like a growing cat community during these lives, is we can help each other out. If somebody's going through something alone or by themselves and they don't know like what to do, or have get maybe like an opinion from somebody else, is the good thing about this group. Is we all have some experience, and we all have, maybe a piece of advice that somebody else isn't thinking about that can help out somebody. Myself, Raph, Anne, John, Sydney Cat. I know Renee's not here, but she has a ton of experience also. Jennifer, I'm sure has experience with a lot of things too, because she's got 5 herself. Let me see what to some it might seem like hoarding, but you have to be there to understand the huge problem. Yeah, and I can only imagine. I appreciate you doing what you can, and doing the best that you can. And I know it's hard, because it seems like there is nobody to help, and it seems like a lot of people just don't understand the situation. So hopefully, with these channels, we can kind of start to change, because I made a comment on Nick's. Nick had a live a few days ago, a week ago maybe, and somebody was leaving her live. I think it was Dara from A Healthy Bite, I think it was called, or yeah, Healthy Bite. I think her channel's called. She was saying something like, goodbye everybody. Hopefully you all become YouTube rich. And I had to go scoop some litter. I had to go roll some logs for a little bit. But after I came back, I should say, I said I wanted to address what Dara said in the comment. I said, I would rather, in all honesty, change like people's hearts and minds than make a penny off of YouTube. And I'm being completely serious. I would rather gain no money ever off of YouTube, but change a person's mind, save a cat. That's real, because that's something that is like, there's no money amount for that. There's no price on changing somebody's heart or mind at all, or there's no price tag on saving a cat's life, or making a cat who maybe is in a bad situation because their parents don't know what to do, anyways, and just showing them or telling them, hey, try this and it works, and then everything is better for the person, and more importantly for the feline themselves. So that is, completely true. Hello there, Mr. Meow Meow. I like the channel name there. But anyways, so it doesn't sound like anybody has any other questions, but as you know, with me and with this live, then if you have a question at any time, I will stop what I'm doing and I will, we can talk about it. So, always know that. Um, the last thing I wanted to talk about was channel news. Now, I say big channel news, maybe it's slightly exaggeration. Um, Raf, I certainly hope so. I certainly hope that I have made some kind of difference already in somebody's cat's life, or maybe I've already changed. I think actually Nick was telling me that through this channel and through kind of what my passion is, that it's helped her kind of not get over, that's not the right word, that's not what I mean. It's helped her to come to some peace in how she lost her kitten herself, and it's allowed her heart to open back up again, and because I know I was talking to her yesterday when she was on, I think, my live. She was saying that her family is coming to a point where they want to adopt another cat again, and I said that's great, and I said hopefully an older cat, right? And she said, yeah, they're probably thinking of adopting an older cat because, older cats, they need that chance again, and they need that love, because it's hard for older cats to get adopted. It's very difficult. Let me see what Anna's saying. I now have people come to me and ask advice and want to know before they take in cats. To me, that's a big change from not being. Absolutely. Absolutely, Ann. I completely and totally agree with you on that. But I'm glad that Nick has allowed the pain of loss to not close her heart up to those who are in need. I know that she is big, obviously, right now on, helping humans, and I totally get that. But I think if a person is not open to helping animals, then I kind of question them a little bit, because animals and children especially are precious, and if you don't have a heart for animals or for kids, then there's something wrong with you. And I hate to say this, but you probably shouldn't be around an open society, and that's all I will say on that. Anyways, so channel news. Excuse me. As I think some of you know, because I've talked about this in some community posts, and I mentioned this in some of the lives that I've been doing. Starting next week, next Monday to be precise, I will be starting a new job. It's online, it's at home. I've wanted to try to get an online at home job. I did get one a little while ago, but it just didn't work out. So this one, though, it looks a lot better. You actually have training, you actually have paid training, and you actually have equipment that is provided for you to do the training. So starting on Monday, like I said, next Monday, the 15th, I will be doing training from 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday. That obviously takes up a gigantic bulk of my time. Now, on top of that, there's obviously channels that I try to support the best that I can. And then there is my own content and my own stuff that I try to get out there also. So it makes it difficult. So what I'll be doing in the future, once this starts, you may not see as much of me around in lives. Bert's lives, I know that's there. Renee's lives. Bert's lives, Renee's lives, Sydney Cat's lives. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry, but people's lives you probably won't see as much of me around there, and it's kind of the same with content. Rosemary's getting fed right now, so she's a happy little girl. Um, I will try the same with like normal content. I will try to be there as much as I can, but it may only be once a week. Just being honest, it might be twice a week. Now, I also want to thank every single person who has supported me so far. Because of your supports and because of lives like this, I have cracked the past. I'm just very briefly, I'm going to talk a very smidge about YouTube, and then I'm going to stop talking about YouTube. But I just want to let you know where I'm at. So, because of supports, I've gotten past the 2,000 mark. I'm at about 2,200 hours or so. So I'm about 800 hours from that 3K mark, and then about another 1,000 hours. Because for me, I would still like to get into the program because it's a goal that I set for myself for a while. I'm not a fool in making money on YouTube. I know that that's very unlikely, like any significant money. It would be nice to make a little bit of money that then I could go and I could donate to like cat charities, or I could donate to cat shelters. I could just donate to places. I could, that's what I would love to do, is start donating any money basically gotten off of YouTube. I would just love to be able to just donate and help help a shelter get more cat food, or get more litter, or help with the donation processes, or stuff like that. That'd be my goal in the end, is to do stuff like that. So that's kind of this channel news. Now, saying that, also I might have more lives like later at nighttime. Now, again, I am going to always be very careful to not get on anybody else's stream, right? I am mindful of that. Um, but I might just do, and it's these lives. If I do them, they're not going to be for like hours and hours and hours. I'm thinking maybe like 1 hour, 3 nights a week, or something like that, from 8 to 9, 9 to 10. Something. I don't know. This live will stay here. I might mess around on the time a little bit. But I think I said everything I wanted to say. Yeah, I don't think there's any other news really as far as the channel goes. I just wanted to kind of let everybody know. Oh, and the other thing is, and I think most of you already know this, I don't do shorts anymore. I don't want to get into a short conversation either. I just don't do shorts anymore, and I want to leave it at that. I don't want to say anything else as far as that goes. If you want to know why, then you can send me like an email or a message or something. I mean, if you're curious, but it's just my own personal thing. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Let me see what John is saying. I'm more not interested than ever. I like friendships here. I can't make this a business. Love you all more than a business. Sydney Cat is saying, sounds good. So next week I will have kind of the normal show here, because I do love kind of like, I will have like the name your family member, or name that cat, name that dog part back in. I will be highlighting new channels that are new, or the channels that the cat channels that I watch, and that I try my best to support with. So next Sunday it'll be kind of back to a normal Sunday live, and I don't want to keep anybody else. So I mean, unless anybody has any, like I said, any questions, any comments, anything else that they might have. There is one other quick thing real quickly. So right now my channel name is Catattainment, right? So it's cats, it's cat and it's entertainment, Catattainment. I think, even though I do like the channel name, it's different, it's unique. I'm thinking of changing the channel name though. To what, I don't know. I might do a community poll on it. I was thinking, I did have a couple of thoughts real quickly. I was thinking something like, and my wife doesn't like either of these. I was thinking something like Whisker Wisdom as one, or Cat Advocate, or Whisker Wonders. I don't know. Cat Whispers. I don't know. But I might change my channel name. I'll do a poll in it just to see what everybody thinks. But anyways, I appreciate everybody being here. John, Bert, Mr. Meow Meow, Sydney Katz, Jennifer, Tranquil, Icon. I'm sure I'm gonna miss some names. I always do. Raph, Jennifer, Anne. I'm just scrolling up in the chat to remember the people's names. Martiza. Sorry if I'm messing up your name. And anybody else, Bert, anybody else I might have missed. So, Cat Advocate sounds good for your Tranquil. Yeah, I might do a Cat Advocate. I think I'll do a poll on it. Yeah, so I appreciate that comment, Ralph. So that's another thing. I want to be real, and sometimes real and raw is hard to watch. It's hard to watch a grown man cry for some, but it's that real raw emotion. Let me get that light out of your eyes. So John, you honestly like, and it might remain Catattainment too, John. It's just because it's not like I'm never gonna have like funny cat videos again. I can. Oh, let me give you a little love over here. I know y'all like Rosemary, so hi, honey. What? Give her a little bit of Rosemary time. Let me take this. Rosemary, come here. Get your butt out of my face, though. So, a little Rosemary. Little Rosemary does the body good, as they say. You just want to give them your butt? Like, I'm not interested in you people, and just take my butt instead. How you know a cat loves you is when they give you your butt. Alright, bye, Anne. I appreciate you hanging in here with me. Okay, anyways, on that note, from tears to cat butts. Oh, hello, Haley. Hope you're doing well there, Haley. Haley, I'm actually going to be ending this live. You can feel free to catch the replay if you want to. There's some good information in there, Haley. And I have some updates on Pandora, because I know when you were in that vertical live, you were asking about Pandora, Max, and Rosemary. So, yeah. But anyways, goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a good week. And until then, I'll see you next time. Haley, I'm probably going to go live again. I'll do a community post, Haley, and when I'll do a live again. And I'll let... as long as you're here or a subscriber, you'll know. If you just have your notifications on, you'll know when that takes place. So I'll do a community post, Haley. But for the meantime, goodbye all, and take care. And until next time, hug a kitty, and hug a doggo. Take care and bye bye. Thank you all.